It is said that sometimes we have to accept that some people who are in our hearts and minds are not in our lives. Mirage 2018. Friends, if you don't understand this, you will understand it after listening to this story. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. The story begins on November 9, 1989. It was the day when the Berlin Wall was toppled. A boy named Nico Lessart was sitting in his room in a small town in France watching TV. The news was warning about a 72-hour storm that was going to be dangerous and advising people to stay in their homes. Nico set up a camera with the TV. He was fond of playing the guitar, so he wanted to record a song. Meanwhile, his mother, who had to go to work, came in. Nico made a misstep for her. She left the house and Nico started recording his song. But before he could finish it, he heard a woman's screams from the nearby house. Instead of informing the police about it, Nico went to see it himself. Nico's neighbor was a man named Angel. Angel's wife was also there, and it seemed like there was a fight between the two. As soon as Nico entered the house, he found Angel's wife's body lying on the floor. Meanwhile, Angel took a knife in his hand and came down the stairs, looking at Nico. Nico started running away from the house with Angel close behind, calling out to him. The storm was also getting dangerous. As Nico was crossing the road, a car hit him, and he died. The police came due to this incident, and Angel's crime was proven. It all happened in 1989. Fast forward 25 years to 2014, we are introduced to a small family. The woman's name is Vera Roy. Her husband's name is David, and they have a young daughter named Gloria. They are very happy because they have everything in their lives. David works in a bank, and Vera is a nurse. At one point, Vera wanted to become a neurosurgeon but didn't have time because of Gloria's arrival, so she became a nurse. Now, they were about to move to a new house, the same place where the 1989 incident took place, where Nico and his mother had lived. But all that happened 25 years ago doesn't matter much now. People don't even remember it. It's just a story. There was a man who was a pilot by profession. He first met Vera on a train, but Vera fell in love with David and they got married. So now they are going to move to the same place where Ader lives. In the next few days, they move into that house. The news was showing on TV that the storm from 25 years ago was coming back on the same day. The scientist was quite surprised by this because nature doesn't usually repeat itself. When Vera returned home in the evening, David had also come back from work. While unpacking, Vera found a picture of David and his old girlfriend, but she didn't mind it because that was in the past. In a room, they discovered an old TV and camera attached to it. It was very old, so people were surprised that no one had touched it for the last 25 years. At night, they turned on the TV and played the tapes that were with it. The audience already knows the story of Nico, so actually, all this footage was his too. There was a strange occurrence when David took out the tape. The TV showed the broadcast of 1989 in which it was shown that the Berlin Wall had been destroyed. They didn't pay much attention to this. Now, at dinner, David had invited Ader and his mother. David teased the TV, so Ader explained that the kid they saw on the tapes was named Nico Lessart. He was Ader's friend and had lived in that house. In the neighborhood, a man named Angel had killed his wife, and Nico had witnessed it all. When he was running home, he died because of a car accident. Ader was recounting this story. His mother was not feeling well, so she gets angry with him and tells him to stay quiet. After dinner, David finds information on the internet about an incident that happened in the area. David reveals that when Angel was arrested, he had claimed to be the owner of a slaughterhouse and planned to bury his wife's body there. However, he was caught before he could do so. Vera, disinterested in such matters, is more concerned about the dangerous storm coming that night. Though the electricity was on, Vera's daughter Gloria couldn't sleep due to fear. To comfort her, Vera shows her a ballerina and puts her to sleep. In the middle of the night, clouds are seen hovering over the house's TV, and the sky is shining. Vera wakes to the sound of the TV, the old one she had recently acquired, now on by itself, displaying news from 1989. As Vera is about to turn off the TV, she suddenly sees Nico on the screen. A door between the present and the past had opened, showing Nico in the past about to record his song. Shocked, Vera watches Nico's mother leave for work, leaving him home alone. As he's about to start recording, she also sees Nico, and they can hear each other. Nico thinks it's a trick, but Vera, already knowing Nico's story, proves otherwise by showing him her current room. Unbelieving Nico insists on investigating the sound, but Vera pleads with him not to go, as this is when Angel would kill his wife and Nico will die too. After much convincing, Nico stops, and the scene cuts to bright light. Vera saves Nico's life, altering the future. When Vera regains consciousness, she's in a hospital bed, feeling like she might have dreamt the previous night's events. Surprised to be called to the operating theater to perform surgery on a patient she'd already operated on, she discovers she's no longer a nurse, but a neurosurgeon. In disbelief, she goes to pick up her daughter from school, only to find that her daughter doesn't exist in this world. Distraught, she goes to David, but now he's not her husband. The events of the previous night completely changed her future. By saving Nico's life, everything about her life is altered. None of the people Vera knew are willing to believe her story, and she finds herself in a parallel universe where everything is different. Since she never met Ader, she never met David, never married him, and never had her daughter. Instead, she had time to become a neurosurgeon. Vera's mind now inhabits this body from a parallel universe where everything unfolded differently, including Nico's death. She met Ader on the train. Then she married David. Then Gloria was born, and she became a nurse. But let's put that story aside because Nico never died here. Vera cries a lot. She tries to make everyone understand, but there is no use. In the end, when there's no other way, she goes to the police station and tries to make an officer understand her. Inspector Lalera listens to Vera. Then he asks her, "When was the last time you saw your daughter?" Vera replies she was not sleepy last night because of the sound of lightning. Lara asks, "When did you see your husband?" Vera replies, "On the bed. She was at home last night. Then I heard the sound of the TV. I saw Nico Lasarte on TV. After that, I don't remember anything." Inspector Lara promises her, "I will help you. You just have to tell me everything." Lara also says, "The life you are talking about is not real." To prove this, he takes Vera to the hospital. She has an MRI. The doctor says she has no neurological disease. He explains to Vera that she is the most capable neurosurgeon in this hospital and that she did a brain surgery on David Ortiz. Maybe that's why you remember him. You are considering him your husband, but nothing like that happened. He also shows Vera her cabin, in which everything was hers, but Vera didn't remember anything like that. She remembered the life in which she is a nurse and David's wife. In the conversation, Vera's attention goes to the clouds. She says to herself, "All this happened because I saved that boy's life." Without explaining anything to anyone, she quickly leaves the hospital. In parallel, we're also shown a scene from the past. Little Nico suspected that Angel had kidnapped his wife. However, he didn't arrive in time. That's why Angel hadn't been arrested yet. Only Nico knew what Angel had done. The next day, when Angel left for some errands, Nico broke into his house. There, in the bathtub, he found Helda's body. Meanwhile, Angel returned from the market, prompting Nico to hide under the bed. Under that same bed was a watch inscribed with CM. When Angel entered, he received a call from a woman claiming she'd left her watch there. Angel reassured her, saying if the watch was indeed there, he would find it. Afterwards, Angel placed pieces of his wife's body into a bag and buried it at the slaughterhouse. Little Nico witnessed all of this, which haunted him ever since. Even when he tried telling the police, they dismissed him. After all, he was just a kid. To them, it sounded like a tall tale. I saw a girl on TV, and she told me everything. No one believed him. The police didn't bother investigating further, assuming it was a child's prank. Moreover, Angel reported a break-in and the missing watch. The police suspected Nico of theft and believed he was trying to frame Angel. Beyond this, Nico's mother began to fear her son might be delusional, even entertaining the idea that he was talking about time travel. Days later, they left town, and Nico was hospitalized for treatment. Now, Vera visits David's house, attempting to access information about Nico Lessart on the computer. But David was now married to someone else, Ursula, who promptly threatened Vera, demanding she leave their home immediately. When David arrived, he was furious with Vera, telling Ursula, "This woman showed up at my office today. They called the police, yet all Vera wanted was information about Nico Lasarte." These people had no clue about Nico, who had disappeared 25 years prior. Their only knowledge of him was based on a conversation Vera had with him a quarter-century ago, which had altered the course of events. Vera tries to convey this to David and the others, that she is actually David's wife and has a younger daughter, but no one believed it. Nothing like this had ever happened in this life. Before the police arrived, Vera left the place. Now, she had to find Nico Lessart so that he could prove it to the world. She hid in Ettoora's car, because in her last life, Ettoora was her best friend, but he also refused to recognize her. Vera tells him how they met and that she married David, but Ettoora said, "I have never met you in my life." Vera says that there was something that broke their connection and they never met again. Now everything has changed. When she shakes hands with Ettoora, she sees a glimpse of another life in which she met someone else instead of Ettoora. But with whom? That is still a secret. While leaving the airport, Vera watches an interview with a writer on TV. The writer had written a book named Mirage. She explains in the interview that she got the idea for the book from a young boy who was a mental patient. He claimed that he saw a girl on TV from the future. Vera realizes that the boy was actually Nico Lessart, and now she had to meet the writer. In the meantime, Inspector Lyra also arrives and helps Vera. They both go to meet the writer, and Vera tries to explain that the girl Nico Lessart they saw on TV 25 years ago was her. But she had no evidence, and Inspector Lyra was also unable to help because Vera needs some tangible proof. Vera remembers where Angel buried his wife's body, and they search for the place. They find the body in a bag, but now the police also suspect Vera because only she knew where the body was. Angel, Claire, and her friend Roman are arrested. Angel had married Clara, Adoora's mother. The police interrogate them, but they deny the murder. The whole story comes out from here. In 1989, when Angel killed his wife, the reason behind it was that Angel was attracted to Clara, Adoora's mother. They didn't have any plan to kill Hilda. Angel was going to tell his wife that he wanted a divorce. Hilda suspected something, so on the day the Berlin Wall fell, she made an excuse to go to Germany. But she wanted to see with her own eyes who Angel was having an affair with. So when she comes back home in the evening, she sees Angel and Claire together. And this was the same time when Nicole Lessart was in the other house. He was going to record his song with the camera. His mother had just gone to work. Hilda takes a knife and attacks Angel in anger, but Hilda is killed in this attack. After hearing this noise, Nico came to the first floor where he saw Hilda on the floor. But because Erva of the future had forbidden Nico, he didn't make it in time. Angel got a chance, and he hid the body. He also made up this false story that his wife has gone to Germany and never came back. Later, he married Clara, but only Nico knew the secret. He just couldn't prove it. Then he left from there. When this investigation was going on at the police station, Inspector Lyra had given Vera an address, thinking maybe she could find Nico. But when she goes there, she sees that David is with someone else. Not with his wife. Taking advantage of this, Vera asks him for information about Nicole Lessart. Because David was a banker and had a lot of customer data, if David doesn't comply, she will tell his wife. So he finds out about Nicole Lessart. Vera reaches that address and meets Nico Lessart's mother. During the police investigation, it is revealed that Inspector Lyra is Nicole Lessart. When the world didn't leave her, he remained silent and kept waiting for the day to come when the future girl would know about this. Meanwhile, Lyra broke the clock. Lyra knew that Vera would meet Ader on a train. So Lyra met him instead of Ader, and then they became friends and later married. Instead of David, Vera lived her life with Lyra. Now, as soon as Lyra touches her, Vera sees everything. But still, it was not real for Vera. She had to return to the world from where she came. The writer said that if Vera wants to return to her old life, she needs the same conditions. She tries to find the TV and camera, but she doesn't find it. Lyra says, "I broke it because I didn't want to lose you. I don't want to lose my life." Friends, Vera didn't appear in this life. She was already here, but her memories were actually of that other life, and the memories in this world have now gone to that Vera's mind, in which she is with David, and she has a daughter too. Anyway, when Lyra refuses and says that he can't let Vera go, Vera had only one way left. She must change the past, take her life, and tonight there was going to be a storm. So Nico didn't want Vera to die. He goes quickly, turns on the TV, talks to little Nico, and explains everything that he has to do next. He must never get on the train so that Vera's life stays the same. The scene ends here, and when Vera opens her eyes, she has returned to her old life. But now there's another life. Vera saved Nico's life on TV. But when Nico grew up, he never met Vera. Vera met him on the train from Etor, and you know the rest. But Angel's secret is still a secret. He has given away his wife's hand, but he was not caught. Only Vera knew about it, so she informs the police about it. Angel, Clara, and Roman are arrested. And there comes Inspector Lyra, who is Nico. Vera, smiling at him, says, "I knew you would come." Nico looks surprised and asks, "Have we met before?" And here, the end of this story,